The alliance system. So, what's a great power? These were the most powerful countries in Europe at the end of the 1800s: Britain, France, Germany, Russia, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. What is an alliance? An alliance is an agreement between two or more countries to help each other, often militarily, in times of war. The alliances pre-World War I were supposed to be defensive rather than offensive. However, because the terms of the alliances were secret, countries often assumed that alliances that didn't include them were directed at them. What alliances were there? The first alliance signed was the Dual Alliance in 1879 between Austria-Hungary and Germany. They agreed to defend one another if attacked by two or more other great powers. In 1882, Italy joined Germany and Austria-Hungary, which made the Dual Alliance into the Triple Alliance. France and Russia felt very isolated due to the Central Powers, and so began to negotiate an alliance themselves. The Franco-Russian alliance was signed between 1893 and 1894. They agreed to support one another militarily if either was attacked by two or more powers. Britain didn't want to be involved in European affairs, a policy called splendid isolation. They even signed the Anglo-Japanese alliance in 1902 to keep themselves out of Europe. Japan was a good ally because they could prevent Russia expanding in the Far East without Britain having to commit their own navy. But by 1904, Britain had become increasingly concerned about the growing power of Germany. France were also concerned about Germany, and so despite never really getting on in the past, Britain and France signed the Entente Cordiale. This was a colonial agreement. Britain agreed to give France free rein in Morocco, and France said they would keep out of Egypt. The final alliance was the Anglo-Russian Agreement in 1907. Again, this was a colonial agreement. Britain and Russia organised different areas of Afghanistan, Persia, and Tibet that each would control to stop them falling out. So, what was the problem with alliances? Well, they led to increasing distrust between the Entente powers and the Central Powers. The relationship between Britain and France was strengthened, which caused growing concern for Germany, as they believed Britain and France were against them. As a result of this, Germany felt it necessary to support Austria-Hungary even when it didn't agree with their actions. For example, it backed Austria in 1908 when they annexed Bosnia, even though Germany was pretty cross about not being warned beforehand. They also offered the blank cheque in 1914, which encouraged Austria-Hungary to press for war when it could have been avoided. Overall, the alliances caused Europe to divide into two teams. Each team wanted to get better than the other, which encouraged an arms race. This made countries too aggressive, thinking they could best each other in a short, swift, victorious war. They prevented flexible relationships between countries, which meant that a country could get dragged into an argument that was nothing to do with them because of their ally. In 1914, this meant a world war over a small incident in the Balkans.